Dwight Howard. He is one of the more recognizable figures in the NBA, but has the former #1 overall pick and the overall man-child done enough to earn a place in the Naismith Hall of Fame once he's done playing? He certainly has. Dwight Howard is without a doubt a Hall of Famer who just cashed in a ring on his resume. Just basing off his accolades alone, it's clear that he belongs in the Hall of Fame. And yes, the casual NBA fan has this tendency to just look at what the media says and formulate their opinions off of that. But there was a time in the league where Dwight was a top 3 player and the top center in the NBA, without a doubt. People typically forget this because he has some unlikable characteristics. The point is, we don't know how much we truly appreciate what Howard's done over his 13-year career, particularly one that's more impressive when you consider the era that he plays in is less dependent on centers like Dwight. Also because he's carried some pretty negative labels with him throughout his career. There's all that smiling that makes people think that he's not that tough. And also because Kobe Bryant called him soft. Or the reports that he was trying to get Stan Van Gundy fired in Orlando, which led to this super awkward moment in front of the media. Safe to say, after a stellar stint in Orlando, Dwight steadily lost his way. Quote, "I lost confidence in who I am as a player. I'd hear people say, you should play more like Shaq, so I tried to bully guys. But that didn't work because I'm not as big as Shaq. Then I'd hear people say, you smile too much, you should be more like Kobe, so I tried to put on a mean face and play mad. But I would wound up getting all these stupid texts and flagrant fouls," said Dwight in a talk with Sports Illustrated. Howard deserves more respect than he's been given, and the accolades speak volumes about where his place is in NBA history. Dwight is an 8-time NBA All-Star, a 5-time All-NBA First Team, 3-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time NBA All-Defensive First Team, and a 5-time rebounding leader and a 2-time NBA blocks leader. And back in the day, he consistently led his team to the playoffs and even beat LeBron James and the Cavs to reach the finals in the 08-09 season. During his 8 All-Star seasons, Howard averaged about 20 points a game, 13 rebounds a game, 1.5 assists, 2.5 blocks, 1 steal, and shot 60% from the field. Now, that right there should be enough to say that he has a Hall of Fame consideration. Keep in mind that the Basketball Hall of Fame is probably the easiest professional US Hall of Fame in which one can be inducted. There are far too many players in the Basketball Hall of Fame that are just considered to be very good. Off his resume alone, Dwight has accomplished way more compared to some other Basketball Hall of Famers like Mitch Richmond, Bernard King, Adrian Dantley, Dikembe Mutombo, Bill Bradley, Vlade Divac, and Yao Ming. With his level of athleticism, people seem to expect more out of Dwight. The comparisons to the great Shaq certainly didn't help. And then there was his time with the Los Angeles Lakers that pulled his reputation way down to the very bottom. There were rumors about the lack of chemistry that the players had together. The fact that Kobe was so hard on him also didn't resonate well with him, and many people labeled him as soft. This was a very rough part of Dwight's career. In fact, the downfall. Upon signing with the Los Angeles Lakers, there was plenty of hype surrounding them and immediate championship aspirations as well. Now, Dwight admitted that he had back surgery and was supposed to miss the entire season, but decided to come back in 4 months. And ended up giving the Lakers 17 points per game, 12.5 rebounds a game, along with 2.5 blocks a game while shooting 58% from the field. Mind you, that most of that season he had a torn labrum. You could tell that the Lakers lacked chemistry, and there was a certain cloud over them for the entire season. The somewhat success that Howard had with all those distractions plaguing the team was pretty impressive. People also have to realize that the Lakers situation was a lose-lose situation. They started the season with the Princeton offense under head coach Mike Brown. Brown coached 5 games, losing 4 out of the 5. Brown gets replaced by Mike D'Antoni. Starting point guard Steve Nash ends up missing 30 games that season. In addition, D'Antoni's system really doesn't work around Dwight, and it doesn't give him the touches that he needs. With all these changes happening around him with a bad back and torn labrum, he still put up 17 and 12 in what was considered a bad season for him. That just attests to the level in which Dwight Howard had played before. Another reason why the casual NBA fan doesn't think that Dwight Howard is a Hall of Famer is because he tailed off towards the later part of his career. Recency bias is a very big thing, and people tend to emphasize what a player is doing right now and use that to represent how his entire career went. After he left the Magic, his career definitely spiraled down, but it definitely wasn't as bad as people are trying to portray it to be. Even when Dwight was tailing off and not performing at the elite level we once saw, he was still a lot better than most centers in the NBA. After he left the Magic, he consistently was in the top 5 in the NBA in rebounding, consistently averaging more than a block a game, and averaged around 15 points per game as well. Some people tend to think that as soon as Howard left Orlando that he went from superstar to bum. However, you should peep these numbers. Since Dwight left the Magic, he's averaging 16 points, 12 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 1 steal, about 2 blocks a game, while shooting 60% from the field. Now this is the downside of his career. Not bad at all. Yeah, he ain't slamming on people and blocking shots to the third row. The downside of his career many would hope would be the upside of theirs. Now once people really see Dwight for how he was and for how he is and how for what he somewhat fell off but still put up numbers, they will see how he's a Hall of Famer without question. At one point in time, he was a player that you could build a franchise around and be a championship contender. There are many players, even in the Hall of Fame, who can say they never were that kind of player. He's a once-in-a-lifetime talent that's part of a dying breed. Centers probably won't ever be like that again. And if they are, I want to see one that lasts. Even if Howard retired today, he'd still deserve to be enshrined in Springfield the moment he'd be eligible. I don't really concern myself with a lot of what people say about me. My resume speaks for itself. I know what I've done in this NBA in my career. Think I've been pretty successful. A lot of times people always want to hate, say something bad about who you are as a player and a person. That's just really a testament to their character, said Dwight. Now that does it. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. I appreciate the view, and as always, thank you for watching.
Up top, Rondo finding Howard.
Because Chris has been there.
Here goes Harris. Oh, denied by Howard. Would love nothing more than to extend this series. Howard is fouled on his way in.